All right, here we are, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm glad you guys can come back and join us for another episode of Bigfoot Zone ECBRO. Tonight we have none other than the legend himself, Mr. Ron Howes, also known as Littlefoot.
AKA Biker Bigfoot.
Yes, Biker Bigfoot. Hey, real quick, Ron, one thing I do notice, your audio sounds clear, but it's very low. Is there any way we could enhance your audio a little bit?
Let me see. Can you hear me better?
That's a little bit better. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it's the way your mic's covered up or what, but yeah, you're a little bit better. For those who are just jumping on, we got an audience growing already, and yeah, feel free to share this around. I really appreciate it. If you guys take the time to share it around real quick, and if you're new to this channel, because I have this shared around everywhere, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and feel free to subscribe. That way you get the notification every time we go live, or if there's a new field video uploaded, or whatever it may be. So I'm going to try my best. I got the live chat open up. There's already people jumping on. So let me. I'll be popping some of the comments up. Some of them will be questions. Feel free to throw questions out there for our guests. We all love questions, and sometimes it does help the guests out themselves.
Hi, Dave.
So yeah, we got David, Felix, and David's wife, Melissa. Good to have you guys on here. I know there's several others viewing, but they haven't jumped on the live chat yet. So I'm going to try my best, like I said, to keep track of the live chat. And
we'll tiny screen, I can barely see everybody's names.
Oh yeah, what I'll do when I pop them up, I'll try to read them the best I can.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. I'm being that we're, if you're like me, you're on your phone, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I'm on my phone too. But yeah, they show up a little bit bigger for me here. Sometimes I have to get down and squint, but I see them larger off the side before I share them. So yeah.
I still got some setting up to do with my office and my computer and stuff, everything. So I'm kind of sitting on my bed right now.
Valley Southwest PA said, open your window, Ron. I'll hear you better. I hope you're doing well.
A window. Hello.
Real quick, David wants to know, did you trim your beard for tonight?
Well, actually, since the last post that I made like a couple months ago, because I did that no shave November, I did shave it then, but it's kind of grown back in a little bit, but it kind of fluctuates like Dan's.
Yeah. Mine's growing wild down the neck. I don't have batteries for my electric trimmer. So yeah. And my regular razors, my beard's starting to get a little too thick for regular razors. So but yeah, I'll tell you what, your volume's still a little low. I might have to get you to either speak up, or unless you have some earbuds you could plug in that might have a mic. I don't know if that would help or not. But
I have to leave the room for just one moment. I do have earbuds.
Okay. Do you know if do they have a mic on them by any chance?
No, but they work through my ears down into my voice.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Go ahead, take a couple minutes to go get them. I'll hold the fort down until you get back. Yeah. So yeah, right now while we're waiting on Ron to get back, I guess I'll throw out a couple reminders or announcements for those who may not be familiar or aware. Yeah. So we got a lot going on for this year. Early in the year, as far as the month of May, right here in Pennsylvania. For those who are not familiar, May 25th. 2024 at the Bakersville Community Grove Park in Somerset, Pennsylvania. I myself, along with Miss Julie McQuaid, we are hosting the Pennsylvania Myths and Legends Festival. So mark your calendars for May 25th. Come on out. It's a free public event. We got over 32 vendors right now. We have 4 food trucks, a beer truck, and right now it's not officially confirmed, but we may actually have a truck a vendor serving up wine. So we plan on having a bouncy house there. We got a good lineup of guest speakers. Let's see. There's going to be some contests going on there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys can come on out. It's a free event. You can't beat that.
Can you hear me better now?
All right. Go ahead. Say that again.
Can you hear me better?
Actually, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
So All right. So I'll tell you what, Ron, I'm glad you could get on here tonight to do this. Thank you for coming on here. This is
Well,
awesome.
thanks
I
for
know I've been
having
trying
me.
to get you on here, and I know you've been busy between doing other podcasts and, I'm trying to balance out work and everything in between. So,
Yeah, it's starting off to be a busy year already.
oh, yeah, absolutely. Um, well, I know it's hard to say. I know, we already know a little bit what's going on in the early part of the year, May, and then my June event in Virginia. I host my annual Virginia Bigfoot Conference, which is going to be a 2-day event this year, June 14th and 15th, in Wares Cave, Virginia, at the community center. So between May and June, I myself, I don't know if I can speak for everyone else, but I'm pumped up for them.
I
Um,
am. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Yeah, and for
You
those who don't know, Ron is being a part of our event. He's the event MC. He'll be there conducting,
That's
introducing
exactly
speakers
right.
and a little bit more than that because he's going to be dressed up as Bigfoot when he's able to. So,
That's
um,
exactly right. I'll be conducting it just like a master of ceremonies
that's right. Well, that's what you are.
in a
You are the
circus.
master.
In the circus.
Let's just leave it at that. You're the master. Oh man. So, well, Ron, I tell you what, the way I want to start this off tonight is if
Okay.
we can kind of get a little background. Um, well, first of all, if you want to fill everybody in, basically, I could say to you as a motivational speaker, someone who speaks out in support of others who may be suffering from PTSD.
Correct.
Um, so I was wondering if we could start off in that category right now, and then we'll
Sure.
get into other things here in a little while. But for those who don't know you, or for those who may not be familiar with you, if we could kind of get a rundown, if you want to fill everybody in, what you do, and then why you do it, and then we can kind of go from there and get into the Bigfoot scene.
All righty. Well, my name is Ron Howes. I am the founder of the page Believe in Yourself Fighting Against PTSD. I'm an Air Force veteran, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is to help other veterans. It trickled into other aspects where we're helping the men in blue, our police officers, our ambulance, the fire, and also in the cryptid world. I've been talking to a lot of people in there, and it seems to have branched out way beyond what my expectations were, and it's great to get the feedback from everybody. Helping with people with this PTSD is a very important mission that I've been blessed with. It's a very honorable thing that I've been able to do in these past couple of years that I've been doing this. It started in 22. I ended up showing up. Actually, it was in 21. I showed up in an event, and just as a little bit of a joke, I was riding my Harley dressed as Bigfoot. Oddly enough, Mr. Crazy Guy here. And it really hit me whenever people were saying certain things to me about what great thing that I showed up that way. And I was like, at first, I really I was just like, okay, well, that was really nice that people said these things. And then it just, the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I started dressing up like that and going to different places just for fun. It developed into what I'm doing now. And so I kind of contrast the two together because I have a love and a background with the cryptid Bigfoot world. And I also have my love for my country. That's why I decided to serve and to try to better my life. And there's an incident that happened with that led me in the direction where I'm at now.
Okay. So yeah, first of all, the event you're talking about you rode up into, was that the Patsy Hillman event where I first
Yes,
met
it
you?
was.
Okay,
Yes,
I
it
thought that's
was.
what it was. Yes, that was so awesome to meet you that way. Yeah, we had a great time that day. Yeah, that was about 2 years ago. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it
a good two
was.
years ago.
It
Um,
was. It's been a blessing since that day because I never knew that my life was going to go down this path.
right.
And it's just been great. The feedback from people from what I decided to set myself into is just been wonderful. Uh, so many people that I've met, new family like yourself, I mean, you and I really have hit it off like brothers, and I'm very grateful for that. You've done a lot to help me and pull me through a lot of things, more than you know.
Mhm.
So,
I'm glad I
Les
could
wasn't.
be of some help.
Les Odell was a part of it as well. Same thing with Fayette County Bigfoot researchers. We have some really good family there, but the two of us actually, because Sarah and Chuck's always following us around wherever we go.
Oh my gosh, they're great people. I love them.
They are fantastic.
Yeah, they're great supporters for
They
sure.
are. And that's
Mhm.
just to mention a few people, I mean, there's so many more that we both know that have supported us both. It's just been great. That's what I love about the groups that we're both involved in is like it's just more like family than anything, and everybody works together. I love that.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, so as far as I was wondering if you could touch base a little bit more as far as I mean, you can share as much as you want or what you want, but as far as I don't know if you feel comfortable touching base on what led you to start speaking to others in support of PTSD, as far as any kind of the incident that might have led up to that.
Well,
And-
I'm all about letting everybody know, so I don't have any problem talking about it. What what got me into the PTSD is personal experiences of my own throughout my life. There's been several different things that's happened in my life that have stayed with me up until recently because I started working on myself and getting myself more open about letting things out of me and not harboring the issues that had happened in my life. Uh, that is a big thing that people have is traumatizing situations stay in people's heads to the point where they can't let them go and it basically controls their life. Um, there was a time period before my page started really taking off that I was the vice commander at a local legion. And if anybody knows anything about legions, you have a fallen member and there's a funeral, we go to honor those people at their funeral. And there was just the one year that we had 4 funerals in that one year. And those ones in particular, on top of the other ones that we would go to, those 4 were suicides.
Mm.
And the other fact that it really hit me is that I actually got to speak to one other gentleman beyond these funerals. Uh, I had gone to Pittsburgh to get a tattoo done, and there was a young gentleman sitting by me, and my tattooist had explained to me, "Hey, my buddy's coming in here. His name's Four Finger Bobby, and he has really severe PTSD." He gave me a breakdown of what was going on, and here what happened was, whenever they were in their vehicles transporting across an area, the RPG came in and blew up the whole platoon except for him. He was the only survivor, which that is a name to that PTSD is survivor syndrome, where every day he wakes up with this in his mind that he was the only survivor of this group. And those, he lost all of his brothers. You're out there watching each other's backs, and there's nothing you could do when an RPG comes in. But he had a reminder of a finger missing on his hand, and there's multiple shrapnels throughout his body. And the day I sat there and talked with him, it was great that I got the opportunity to talk with him. And my tattooist, about 2 weeks later, made a post that he was wishing him and his family the best for the loss because he had committed suicide in 2 weeks after I met him. And it really hit me. I not only did I have to serve at these funerals the way I did with the Legion, but to actually sit there and talk to somebody and feel that this man is doing great. It's kind of like a mask. Not everybody will present their problems right to you. It's just something that doesn't happen. Same thing with a lot of military folks that have served in a lot of different wars, and they've seen a lot of things that they don't like to talk about. When you have the opportunity to sit and talk with somebody and they sit there and they tell you their story, it's a blessing because they just don't do it. And in 2 weeks after that, to find out that the man took his own life, it really hit me. And I just sat and I thought and thought and thought. I said, there's something I got to be able to do to help the people that are suffering with these problems. And what crazy way can I do this to get people's attention is here I am. I'm in the Bigfoot world and I'm riding around on my bike in costume. And I go to these events and I just get up and I speak about what I'm trying to present to people. And it really gets people's attention from what I've understood from, people telling me like, dude, you really got something going here. It's just a really different aspect how things. Now, see, I do things a little bit unorthodox, as you may have known for the time you've known me, Dan. But it works. It really does work, because there's so many times that I've had people come up to me and tell me their stories, and family would be standing nearby and said, we've never heard that story. And that's whenever I knew that this person was trusting me with their story about what happened to them. And it's really heartwarming in one aspect. At the same time, it's sad, because this person's struggling with this problem in their head every single day. It never changes. And I'm just trying to shed a little bit of light on somebody's life to let them open up and tell their story, and just maybe it will give them some enlightenment, being the fact that they've had the opportunity to tell this story. Just bottom line, that's exactly the route that I was trying to go for, and it's been working, and I love it. I love the fact that I have been able to get these people to open up and share. It's very sad to know that these problems are out there, and it's very sad that people do take that alternate route. And that's what I'm working towards, trying to do that prevention. And just the more awareness that I get to people that you have a purpose on this earth. So if you're sitting there thinking that, that this problem is just too much for you and you can't handle it anymore, you got to think about this. Just give it another day. That moment that you're sitting there and you got that last thought in your head and this is it. Just give it another day, because something can change, and then you would have already given it up, and it's too late. It's hard to get through to some people. It really is. But at that moment that you can get that person to rethink what they're thinking, that's the important step right there. It's kind of like an AA meeting, I want to sit down with people and I want to redirect them in their thoughts. It's trying to get somebody to think that their life means something. They don't know how much their life is valued until they actually talk with somebody and get what's going on in their head out. It's all it takes is just to get somebody to talk to you. And that's what I try to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of turned my negative problems that I've had in my life into positives. And it's kind of pushed me to do the things the way that I do things. Like I said, I'm a little bit unorthodox the way I do stuff. I'll joke around with you just about anything. On one aspect, that PTSD is serious, suicide is serious. But if I can joke around with you and get you not thinking about it, that's where I'm going. That's what I want. Try to people to ease up in their mind or what they're feeling.
Yes, absolutely. And I just wanted to throw it out there real quick. What's one of the things you always say is, apart from believing yourself? Enjoy the journey, right?
Exactly.
So,
you have to.
I didn't know if you realized, but this is Julie's YouTube name. She goes by Enjoy the Journey. So
Haha,
yeah,
that's wonderful.
yeah.
That's
She's at work
wonderful.
right now, but she's jumping on when she can. So yeah. So
I
yeah, I wanted
can't.
to throw that out there because
I haven't said that very much. I can't believe you remember that.
oh
That's
yeah,
nice.
I don't forget.
That's nice to
Well,
hear.
one of the things
That's
that
nice to hear.
reminded me is I recently came across a post probably from a year ago, roughly. It was something I posted. I'm pretty sure I tagged you, and I add the hashtags of believe in yourself and enjoy the journey, and that's what made me remember because I came across that old post from like a year ago or so. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
You
so
know
I just wanted to throw that out there.
that
Um,
phrase actually came from my ex-commander's belated husband. He was actually a military Indian. Um,
okay,
because I don't know if you ever heard me talk about this, like the Marines had the code talkers.
okay, right, yeah,
So I actually celebrate them as well on top of everything else that I do, that because they're just a lost culture. And being the fact that they are military, I definitely bring them in on this because I don't know if I've ever told you this or not, but I was a accepted as a spiritual child to an Indian group whenever I was a kid.
okay. No, I'm not familiar with that. No,
So
no,
I'm trying to reach out to that family and trying to get them back into my life because the elder that accepted me in kind of passed away a few years back, and you know how families disband after the elders pass away, and I'm trying to bring everybody back together and maybe even have another show like I did a couple years ago, and but I want to elaborate more on bringing the Indian groups in as well.
right.
May, so
Absolutely. Now you talking about you being a young child. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was an incident or an experience you had that took place when you
yes.
were a young child that kind of traumatized you. I was wondering if you want to kind of fill us in on that, give us some backstory and what led up to all that.
Okay, so as of right now, I live in Daisytown, PA, which is one of two in Pennsylvania. I live near California College. The other one's near Johnstown, PA. I grew up in Deemston, which is about 15 minutes away from here, which is in Fredericktown, Pennsylvania, on a small family farm. Uh, we had all kinds of animals and stuff, but I had this little three-wheeler quad that I would ride around on a farm on. And just this one evening, I decided to go for a ride just before dark. And I headed up the trails on the fence line back to the woods. And as I'm coming down into the woods, I just felt something strange in the area. It just had a weird feeling. I shut the bike off instead of heading straight into the woods. You know, I stopped and I shut the bike off and I'm standing there for a minute and I look over to the entrance to the woods and I could not get a plain view of what was there, but I could tell that there was a large figure standing there. Wasn't really moonlit or sun or anything because, like I said, it was going into dark. Um, but somehow I just seen a figure. The most distinguishing two things that I remember about this is the fact that I seen two red eyes about 8 feet in the air.
Oh,
The other thing is that the fact that it had growled at me. It was a really deep guttural growl. I decided that it was time to go back home at this point. You know, I'm 13 years old and, you know, just didn't know what I was facing. I don't know what it was. I do believe that through years of research and more understanding about what these creatures are and their size and you know everything that they're what they do, I believe that I had my not a full on sighting, but pretty much a sighting of Bigfoot at 13 on a family farm. It really intrigued me. I was a little bit nervous about it for about a week or so. I had told some people, and everybody just wrote me off. And you know
oh
how
yeah,
that goes.
yeah,
It's one of the stigmas in the Bigfoot world and all the other cryptid worlds. You get written off for this stuff, and I just stuck to my guns, like because I knew that I had seen something. I couldn't let that out of my head. that I needed to find out what this was. So it just, instead of it making me scared to go back, it actually intrigued me to the point where ever since that, and clean until today, I will head right into those woods right after whatever I hear, just to get full knowledge or a full visual of what is going on around me.
Right. Yeah. Just don't be that the cat with curiosity.
That's the problem. It's
You know,
what I do.
I'm the same way. I am the same way. I don't care how scary or nervous that makes me. I got to find out what that is. That's how I am.
It's exactly what I do. I like, if I know something's going on outside, like where I live right now, in Daisy Town, there was a news report in the 90s, and I never forgot about that either. And then all of a sudden, 90 years ago, I end up moving right in the middle of this. So I started asking questions of people around here that I know, and here I am sitting on my front porch one night, and it was after midnight. I was looking at the stars, listening to the crick. I heard a long sustained howl. I was like, I know what I'm hearing. I know that sound, and I was just like a little kid on Christmas morning. I was so excited that I got to hear this, and it was with my own ears, not a recording. I just sat there for a few minutes listening. Well, it wasn't a few minutes that was going on. It was maybe about 30 seconds. But I just sat there for a few minutes afterwards, and I thought to myself, like, okay, I heard it coming from this direction. That's where I got to go. So in a couple of days, I had a quad available, and a couple of people and I went back, and we were back there one night just trying to get communication, and I did. I got knocks a couple of times, and then it had enough of me being there, and it stomped at me and started coming towards me. So I was like, okay, I guess our little investigation's done for tonight.
Yeah, oh
but
yeah.
that didn't stop me either, because a couple of days later, I was back in the daylight trying to get light onto the subject, and we found a few things. I got a few pictures of what we found, and I swear something was playing peekaboo with me. We got a footprint. We got a shelter. There was what I think I showed you the picture, and you said that looks like a handprint on the tree.
Yeah, it did. It clearly did. The shape of the muddy outline on that tree.
Yeah. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, the podcast I was on the other night, they put the picture up, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, that looks like a handprint." And the more I look at that, I'm just like, you know what? I need to get back there again. I need to get back there and do some more looking around just to see if that is still there, for one, but just to find the area that has been depicted where they're living. But it didn't stop there. After I had done that, it would start coming down to my house. It must have got a scent of where I was, or followed me or something. And for the longest time, it was behind my house making all kinds of ruckus. And I kept on, I kept yelling at it. I was like, hey, knock this stuff off. Just come down and say hi. You're this close to my house. Obviously, you were looking for me. Just come down and say hi. Quit playing around,
Right.
But
Come on down, have a beer.
yeah. See, that's what I'm all about. I want to be the one to have the first beer with one, But who knows, all the other stuff about abductions and everything. Who knows? Somebody might already have.
Right.
But it's just so fascinating to know that there's another intelligent being living out in these woods. I'm about ready to move out my house and go live with them. It's
Right. Well,
I love nature.
Seeing the location where you live, because that day that John drove me and Julie around of your area and the surrounding area,
yeah,
one of the things I noticed, not just in your area, but like not just around a corner from you, through some of those deep little hollers and stuff, there's a lot of old mines and little caves up through there.
Well, that's what this is an old mining area.
Right. So who knows what's living in those mines, because there's openings up on those hills, I've seen for myself up there,
Well, the funny thing about it is the end of my driveway in this hillside, there's an old mine entrance that was blocked off.
Okay.
But I don't have the right to open it. So I'm not touching it. But over the hill from me here, There used to be the old mine store. They tore it down just last year. There was another building there as well, which was actually, it blocked one of the entrances into the mine. But when they tore it down, they closed it off. And then the other entrance, they put bars in front of it. And I guess the reason why is because I guess they found a species of bat living in there. So they couldn't shut the door completely, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
But from what I understand from some of the locals, there is an entrance into the old mine all the way back the valley where John was showing us where the UFO landing was. Back in there somewhere, there's still a mine entrance open, and supposedly that's where people have seen them living. So I'm trying to find my way to where this entrance is, and I'm going to get back here and find out. Bottom line.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I know it's kind of cold out right now, but I mean, during the nice weather, you probably hang around outside a lot, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I was going to say, like sometimes during the nice weather, I mean, besides seeing things and finding things back there, and you've heard things in around the hills or surrounding your home, haven't you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
it's just the way the hills and the valleys are formed, it comes right to me. I hear a lot of noises coming from the back air.
oh yeah, especially a lot of vocals. A lot of people don't
Yes.
realize a lot of vocals, regardless if they're distant or not. You have from where you live, or even in the mountains with a lot of ridges and saddles. A lot of those vocals they actually bounce and they carry, and that
Yeah.
you know, and some of them that might be long distance, they're being delivered to you. You know.
Yeah. I actually can hear the trains down in Fredericktown.
Oh
That's
wow.
yeah, it echoes up over the hills and right to me. I can hear the trains just blowing their whistles all the time. So it's just that's just how echoey these valleys are here. I mean, needless to say that some of these mine entrants might got to be connected to the mines down in Fredericktown.
All right.
So,
So,
and
I wanted to ask you. I meant to ask you earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt you. As far as your encounter when you were 13, um, from that location to where you moved out right after that, how far was that?
well, there was years in between, but I'm only 15 minutes away from the farm.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, for traveling distance for one of them, they could be coming through here, and I could be being visited by the same one that I
That's
seen as a
true.
kid.
Yeah.
Now, putting in mind, I'm thinking about that 10-foot tall one that John said that he had a full on visual with. I haven't seen this one because the most, like activity that I have right now, coming down to my backyard has been the mother and the child, because I had two pairs of red eyes behind my shed multiple times.
Mm.
And I've never seen a third set. And nobody around this area has told me that they have seen the large one very often.
Right. Well, perhaps that large one probably wasn't that far off from the other two, because entertaining the thought that the two sets that you saw was maybe a mother and a juvenile, the father may have been a little further back, so out of view.
Kind of like other wild animals, they're not too far behind. I guarantee
Right.
it. But
Yeah.
he keeps out a visual and lets them go out like bait, so to speak.
Right.
Anybody messes with him, he's going to come charging.
Yeah. Sharon saying, I believe, referring to you, I believe you are correct, and assuming that it's the same family still visiting you.
I strongly believe that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I believe that they've been here. I mean, the fact that they were here in the 90s during that investigation, and I'm getting stories from the locals that they've seen them standing at the end of the street, or they've seen them looking in their window on the second floor of their house.
Oh wow.
And they've only seen the female and the young. They've been living here for a while.
I believe that.
I mean, the juvenile still acts juvenile, because he was playing around in my woods back here one night, just making a ruckus and doing some silly stuff. It was interesting. I was like, yeah, I'll bet you that's the juvenile. it just didn't seem like an adult thing to do.
Yeah.
So unless they had another young, I don't know. But from the story John tells me, he remembers whenever they did the impressions of the footprints on that investigation, because he was on it. The one leg was putting so many pounds of pressure on it, the other one was more, and that's when we believed that it was just an infant at the time.
Right.
So,
yeah, that device. I
I
know. Yeah, I remember him mentioning about that. I'd like to look into something like that to see if that's possible to have or obtain something like that. If it's something they sell on the market to the public, I don't know.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, that or a LiDAR scanner, something where you can scan impressions or tracks, and you can save it and pull it up, and it'll show you the details. I know they make apps you could do, but a lot of them are for 3D printing. I know a buddy of mine uses one. He's got an iPhone, but he's got an app that it works great with his iPhone, because he sent me images and links where you can rotate and see the depth and the shape and all the details. Because I come across a lot of tracks and just simple impressions. Sometimes what you see in person, your picture ain't going to do details when you try to show it to the public. So, but if I could find the right app for my phone, I know I would love to do what my buddy in Virginia does. His name's Chat, and his app works great. He'll share it when he comes across tracks and stuff. Like the last one he showed me, the details were unbelievable. And now all he had was an impression, but once he did that scanning, I rotated. I said, "Look," I said, "This is a bear track, but look at the details you can see of the thing." I mean, because looking at the picture alone, all you see is just a faintly odd impression of what appears to be humanoid, but there's actually toes and claws and everything in this whole track. It's like freaking unbelievable. So
now, if you remember the picture I have with the knife sitting next to it, you can see the toe impressions, but you can't see the claws.
What's that now? I'm sorry. I was looking at something.
He's not paying attention to me.
No, I saw a couple comments pop up, but
the picture of the foot impression that I showed you, and there had a knife sitting next to it for scale, which I later measured, that ended up being 16 inches. You could see the toe impressions, but you can't see no claws.
Okay.
Now, again, like you said, with this app, or even like the LiDAR detector, you could be able to see more to that footprint than what you're actually seeing in an actual photo.
Right.
I mean, I believe that's the reason why a lot of people like getting casts of them, because that can bring out further evidence of, what this actually looks like. But I mean, a lot of the times, if you don't see a claw, the claw is not there,
Oh yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
The one thing that I thought was really interesting about that investigation in the 90s was the fact that they had knuckle and hand impressions in the hillside.
Oh.
And because it had snowed at that point, there was butt impressions, like they sat down or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's what I'm always looking for. Just like on your camping trip last year, I found those hand impressions in the ground.
Right.
Those really intrigue me, is to see those hand impressions.
Right.
More so than the feet.
Oh, for sure. Now, the right there when you camped out with us?
Yeah.
Well, in the camp spot. Well, I remember some years ago, it was I was camped down below that in a whole different area. But it was probably late at night, between 10 and 11 o'clock at night. I was coming back from that little country store, because when I camp by myself, I go out and I'll check in, and sometimes I'll update people. Well, I was coming back in. I was just driving slow, and this particular night, driving down the forest road. I mean, the wildlife were out like crazy. I had coyotes running across the road. I had big fat raccoons running down the side of the road. Deer here and there, and birds, hawks, whatever, with owls. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. Just all the whole town, the whole way down to my camp. And I'm driving slow, and I'm seeing all this. I said, "Holy crap!" I said, "What's going on with the wildlife? They're all out tonight, especially out by the roadways." And I'm driving along, and really, probably going about 10, 15 miles an hour down the road. because you got to be careful because the deer can run out. And
Oh, yeah.
there's deer everywhere out there. And I'm just driving down, and something catches my attention off to the left. Now, keep in mind, this is just this is past the campsite. This is going down towards the other one.
Okay.
And so it's between that one and then the next primitive campsite. And there's these pine trees by the edge of the road. They're probably about ranging anywhere from 7 up to 10, 12 feet tall. And I catch a set of eye shine catches my attention. I was like, oh, there's probably like a hawk or something perched, excuse me, like an owl perched up on the side of the tree. And keep in mind, I'm still at some distance, but I'm staring at it. I'm driving along, I'm looking, and all of a sudden, what I see next, I was like, no way. What I saw, and it was, I consider it inconclusive, but this is what I saw. I saw what looked like a whole figure, an outline silhouette of a figure, like duck down and turn completely around and go back in the woods. And I was like, no, I did not just see that. I was like, my eyes are playing tricks on me because, I'm like staring there at what caught my attention was a set of eye shine. But the shape and silhouette of something ducking down and just turning around. Now, was I seeing something? I don't know. It was just, keep in mind, that was at some distance. I was in my vehicle.
Yeah.
So. But that was between where we camped at and, like I said, the next primitive campsite.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're all through those woods up there. I mean, I've heard stories from hunters and stuff that's been growled at coming out of the woods, and that park their trucks and stuff along those areas that hunt. So,
Paul, if you remember, whenever we all went on the walk, I forget. I think it was Drew that was with me. We were sitting on a log, and you guys were like traipsing through the ferns, and we're looking down on the ground, and just all of a sudden, from a distance, we can hear that thud, the same thud that I heard whenever there was one stomping at me in the woods behind my house. I was like, man, I know that sound. They must have been watching us, and like they could feel that we were coming their direction, and they didn't like it. It was a little bit not too faint, but you could feel that thud in the air.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff, it's just it drives. It drives, man. I want to know. I want to know what truly is going on out there.
Absolutely. Well, like our event we got coming up in May. Now we're doing the camp out immediately following the festival. And there was a few different locations that me and Julie were keeping in mind where we want to bring everybody. But I mean, we visited and we scouted and researched several areas, but we've been focused on this one particular area. And I'm going to tell you, this area here, I mean, the deer are freaking amazing out there. There's like monster bucks out there. I got my trail cameras out. They've been out there for over 2 weeks already. So I'm anxious to go back out there to see what I might have captured. I only got 3 of my best cameras out there right now, but yeah, we've experienced some weird things out there. I mean, from day one to almost every other time we were out there. There was one day we didn't see nothing, but almost every time we're out there, if we're not hearing something, we're definitely seeing something. And I mean, I posted the field videos about it. I've talked about it on other videos, but right where we sit and hang out at, there's these boulders there. There's a small little field, and then you're surrounded by woods. But you got the tree line right there. The first time we got there, it was dead quiet. After nightfall, we weren't hearing nothing. It was so quiet. And just randomly, I decided to give off a couple whoops, just for the heck of it. And right after my whoops, right inside the tree line. Now, we didn't see nothing at this moment, but right inside the tree line over to the right was a loud, clear, solid knock. I was like, my mouth opened. Like my jaw about dropped. And then right from where Julie was sitting, she was sitting on a stone straight out in front of her. Right after that knock was another knock right out in front of her. I said, what? I was like, and the thing is, we weren't recording at the time. I try to reserve my phone, but I try to keep it recording whenever I can, but I was not recording at that time. And then after that, she started noticing some lights. I said, what are you talking about lights? I said, from the angle and the position I was at, I mean, I wasn't seeing nothing. For the longest time, I wasn't seeing nothing. So I came down and sat down with her for a while, and all of a sudden I'm looking in the tree line, and keep in mind it's completely dark in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "What the heck is that?" She said, "What you see?" I said, "I saw a flash of blue." He said, "That's what I've been seeing, but some of the ones I've been seeing look like eye shine." I said, "This was like a single beam of light, like just like a quick flash. It looked like a star in the sky appearing, but it flashed." I was like, "What the heck is
Wow.
that?" Now, keep in mind, there was this red light that was showing up too to the left. And I was like, I was like, "What the heck is that? That's odd." It wasn't. I had suspicion. The more I kept looking at it, on the red light, I started having suspicion that's got to be something in the distance. Sure enough, I eventually debunked that one. That one there was a light flashing on a communication pole somewhere in the far distance in
Oh,
another field. Because on the one side of the forest road, if you go so far over, it goes into private property on the one side.
okay.
So that got debunked. But now this other light is something totally different. Because
The blue
I've
one.
walked back there. We both walked back there during the daytime, exploring, getting to know the area. And it's like, what the heck could be shining or flashing back here? I mean, I've looked for mechanical devices on trees, and I was like, could there be other game cameras back here? Because mine don't give off no lights. Mine don't even use infrared. I have invisible glow flashes, but
Yeah, most
so I mean,
everything on the market's like that.
yeah, and this was so weird because it started off just mainly being one little flash, and then eventually other little ones started showing up. Some of them looked yellow. They were all in the same general area, but not in the same spot, if that makes any sense. It was like a cluster of stars appearing in this one section. Then she started seeing some on occasions to the right where that first tree knot came from. So, keep in mind, I'm somebody, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. I'm finding these very odd. I'm finding it difficult to debunk these because I've never seen anything like this in the woods. All the years I spent in the woods, ever since a young kid up till now, I just never seen anything like this before, and they
That
just don't
seems
make no
very
sense.
odd.
She believes they are a source of energy of some sort. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I don't know, but we're gonna keep looking and checking it out. That the
But
area
this is
we've
in
heard
the
some
area
cool
that we're
vocals.
going to be camping.
Yeah, there's the spot we're gonna put you guys in is right around the corner from all this. So,
Okay.
so yeah, we're anxious to get out there. Hopefully, others can experience it. Now, yeah, we've heard owls out there. We've heard coyotes. But then we have actually heard other unknown. Well, we call it unknown because they're unidentifiable. And for those who know me, I'm pretty good. I'm a wildlife researcher. I've heard a lot of wildlife, a lot, from various sources.
Mhm.
But so yeah, like Julie just said, those flashes are the Bigfoot, is what Julie is saying. So, and she described them as some form or some source of energy that they're putting out. So, but so yeah, we want people to come out there and experience what we've been experiencing. So, but
Definitely. And it is an
absolutely.
experience, I'll tell you that right now, because I've been out camping in the wild, and it was really different whenever I went down with you in Virginia. Of course, I've
Right.
never camped in the wild in Virginia before until that time. And I tell you what, it's really a different experience whenever you open your mind to something different other than the norm.
Oh yeah.
And the stuff that we were experiencing last year, I'll tell you what, it was really awesome. It's the only way I can put it. It was awesome.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens this May.
Were you hiking with us when we came across that big old rattlesnake?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay, I thought you were with us. Yeah.
yeah. I almost stepped on it myself.
Yep. It's funny because
Melissa's the one
me
that
and
hit it with
Dale,
with her
we
walking stick.
yeah, me and Dale were we had just stepped over the log, and Melissa was behind us, and the only way she started, her
Because
walking stick,
her
her hiking
walking
stick
stick
bumped
hit
it,
it. Yeah.
and it kind of shifted, and that's what
I
caught
was
her attention. And we were like,
I was
whoa, whoa,
probably
whoa,
about
what's going on? I didn't know what was going on, but yeah, the rattlesnake, he was just coiled up, just chilling there. But
That's
Yeah,
why
that was
I wear
cool.
steel toe boots whenever I go walking.
No, well, the smartest one out there was David. He had his steak boots on too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But
wow.
yeah, I was probably about 6 feet to Melissa's right whenever that happened. And luckily, Luna didn't see it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But so yeah, we as far as the cameraman, I got you remember Dale and his grandson?
Yes.
Yeah, they're coming up. They signed up. They're going to be coming to the event and camping with us as well. So
Awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. It'll be
So
great to see everybody again.
oh yeah, absolutely. It's going to be awesome for sure. So
I know what was really fun last year is we did a little bit of PR work for your Virginia event, and
oh yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
yes, absolutely. So
And then most of the group showed up for the show. I was like, man, this is great.
oh for sure. Between now and before the event, me and Julie, I know we both agreed on doing it. We really want to do this, but we actually want to spend the night out there, or at least a camp a day or two. If you know, but just right now it's been really cold. We got snow
Yeah.
coming late tonight, early tomorrow. But yeah, sometime soon, maybe I don't know. We'll see how the end of January, maybe into February. If the temperatures, I mean, if it's 40, 30s, 40s, I mean, I've camped in severe cold weather before, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just trying to watch the weather because uh, just driving up the forest roads. Well, the last time we went out there, we only were able to drive in so far. The roads were thick; they weren't plowed. So we made the best of it. We found a spot where we could park, and we found another old logging trail we had decided to hike on. But just like I said, we weren't chancing it and hurting vehicle driving up those hills. But what's cool about the area, there's a real cool waterfall. There's little streams, creeks that are all through there. So after talking to one of the hunters I came up across about a month or so ago, and he did say there's some big bears roaming those woods up there. So, which that's expected. We got them
Okay.
in Virginia. So, but
Yeah, I don't worry about any of that.
yeah.
If they're gonna get me, they're gonna get me. You know.
Oh yeah, you're the type you just go over, walk up and give them a big old hug.
Yeah, big old Bigfoot bear hug.
That's right. Oh my. Well, I tell you what. For those who are listening out there, is there any advice or anything you want to throw out there for the listeners?
Well, you know me. I gotta throw my spot out there for that PTSD.
Oh, do it. Yeah, anything you want to throw out there.
Just always to remember to believe in yourself. That's one of my top things that I can never say enough, because the last 2 years of my life has been such a different journey that I never expected my life to become, because I believed in myself. And all it takes is that to change your life aspect. Because if you look at what your life has been versus what it can become, like I do all the time, it really can change your way of thinking. And if you can believe in yourself, you can believe in others and help pick them up. I've had a lot of that happen in this world that I've been in the last couple of years. Just, everybody stands by my side, and they really believe in what I'm believing in. And I believe in all of you out there, because I know everybody has it in them to do this. So use my words from the name of my page, believe in yourself. That's why I call it that. And make sure you get to the show in May, because I guarantee you're going to have a blast. I'm going to be your MC. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk about some serious stuff. We're going to talk about Bigfoot, and I guess we got some UFOs adventures coming with some of the speakers as well.
Yeah, Rob. John Stasko, he's our UFO and Bigfoot eyewitness, or one of our Bigfoot eyewitness, but he's our main UFO eyewitness. He will be speaking, sharing his encounters and stories and his knowledge on this on the subject. And the oh my goodness, I'm having a brain fart. Fred Saluga, the head of MUFON, the West Virginia MUFON director, he will be there speaking as well. So, yeah, so we got a couple UFO speakers, you know.
So there we go. Bring all the aspects of it.
And then, as I shared with you the other day, coming all the way from British Columbia, for those who may know Jason Kenzie on Facebook, his name is Jason Humber, but his real name is Jason Kenzie. He's the film producer and then the man behind the scenes of Searching for Sasquatch series. You can watch them on Tubi TV. All his episodes are up on Amazon Prime right now. Eventually, they do go to Tubi. So you could actually order his series, or you could rent, buy, or just wait a long time till they're on Tubi. Or come out in May and meet the man in person. So he's an adventurer. He's all across the world with his adventures. He mainly focuses in the United States, meeting up with other eyewitnesses and exploring for the unknown himself. So he's great. I love his episodes. And one thing he told me before I even started watching it, he says, look, he said, you're going to notice that I throw some humor in there sometimes. He says, and I usually start acting silly or throwing humor in there. He said, is when I'm getting scared. If there's a reason, he said, I don't show my scaredness, but he says, when I get scared, I have a tendency to get silly about stuff. And I'm going to tell you what, I watched it and I see exactly what he's talking about. He does good at that. It's fun that he uses humor because he's good with his humor. So, you know, but yeah, maybe Jason's a good guy. He's a heck of a character. But yeah, he's actually going to be speaking there as well. So, yeah. Yep.
So, as everybody hears, we're going to have a great show. So make sure you get there. And
it's going to be one heck of a show.
Who's our sponsor, Dan?
What's that?
Who's our sponsor?
Oh yeah, thank you. I can't not leave them out because they're going to be there. But Trailhead Brewing Company will be there on site serving up their beer, and I'm going to tell you, their beer is freaking awesome. So, and Ron ate up all their oysters like a couple weeks ago.
They have awesome oysters.
Yeah, actually, those oysters got brought in from Delaware, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah,
that's okay. They served them.
Yeah. Yeah, they had quite a bit there, didn't they?
Oh yeah, they did. There was a lot. There was a lot. We didn't even have a big crowd, but they were serving a lot of oysters.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That was a fun night though.
It was.
Yep. But yeah, they're gonna have a good lineup of their beer serving up there at the event. Now again, it's not in stone, but for those who know, right here in Pennsylvania, we have Star Hill Winery. Star Hill Winery, they'll be there serving. Well, they do sell sample. You could get little taste samples, or you could get a cup for, I think they charge $5 a cup, $3 to $5 a cup. But they're selling their bottles of wine. Their main wine that they will be selling is Squatch and Berry. So, yeah, Squatch and Berry. It's made with huckleberry and Concord grape, and of course, it's got Bigfoot on the label.
That sounds like Smurfberry wine.
Basically, but it's for It's made from Squatch juice. So yeah,
Squatch juice. Ooh,
absolutely. Yeah, Squatch and Berry. And one thing that's special about their Squatch and Berry wine.
I'll be drinking that.
What's that?
I said, better watch out. Biker Bigfoot might be having some of that.
There you go. Absolutely. It's good stuff. I like it, and it's considered kind of a sweet wine, but it has that little bite to it, which is good.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll see this face on some of their bottles. So,
which face?
This face.
Oh my!
I guess if you want to buy the bottles for target practice or something. So.
I was just gonna say that.
So. Yeah, they actually featured my face on their bottles when they, because I was a keynote speaker for the Forest County Bigfoot Festival this past year. So yeah, there's actually, yeah, they were selling the wine there because, like I said, I was their keynote speaker. Oh, Cliff Barackman's going to be there this coming year as their keynote speaker. So, yeah,
Are you serious?
I just saw that Cliff Barackman is going to be their keynote speaker
At the
this
Forest
coming
County?
year.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I got to meet him at Hawking Hills last year.
Yeah, and the guy who runs the event, I'm actually surprised there's two people that are there that are going to be speaking there this year because he asked me if I recommended anybody, and I threw out two names, and yeah, he actually listened and took their names. I think I sent him something on his Facebook too, or his email, but Glenn Purcell and Michael Cook. They're both speaking there this year, so because they're the two that I recommended, or suggested to him.
I don't know Glenn, but congratulations, Mike. And well, congratulations, Glenn, as well. That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, I saw that they're on the list there. So there's a couple new ones there I'm not familiar with. Some other guy named David. So I can't remember the names, but of course, Mike Finland will be there again as the MC. He was the MC last year. He's the returning MC. Then one gentleman from way down about 5 hours south of where I live, where my parents live in Virginia, Jim Boardwine. He was there last year, but he's gonna be there again. I invited him to my event, but he acts like that's too far, but he'll go an extra 6 hours above me to go. Some people don't make no sense, but I offered him a vendor spot, but I don't understand it. He's like, well, would you be willing to pay my hotel and my mileage? I said, we don't pay vendors, we charge them. So I mean, it's whatever. Some people, I don't know, I don't get it with some people, but yeah,
I don't charge.
Yeah, but no, that's what I'm saying. Like, as far as him being a vendor, but like, I never had a vendor say, well, would you be able to pay me? I said, no, we don't pay vendors. They don't work that way,
Yeah.
I said, that's how we get our money to pay for our venue and our location, we depend on vendor costs to cover our expenses for that event, so. But
I mean, a lot of us do this under a nonprofit way,
Right.
It's just informational purposes, just to, try to get things out there that we've learned,
Right. Exactly.
I mean, I know
just like my Virginia event. I mean, the cost of our venue there, it's gone up. It's costing a lot more this year than it has been the previous year. So, but plus we do have special guests to cover cost on. So those funds are taking place right now. We've been working on that
this year.
What's that?
Who's coming this year?
Well, all the speakers I'll put out there. We got 4 speakers, and then actually take that back. We got 5 if you include the special guests. But because we're throwing in a little paranormal this year for the Virginia event. For those who might be familiar on the paranormal side, we have the race chasers coming from North Carolina. So they draw in a crowd at those kind of events. So with us throwing a mixture of bringing in a little bit more paranormal.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be very interesting because my committee team, Brandon, he's one of our community members. He does all the marketing for all their other events they do. So even though I announced my speakers already, we're going to be doing another recap of all the speakers, and he's putting them down. He's doing an individual promo for each one, which is cool, So we're working. Another thing we're offering too. I put it out there. We're looking for anybody that wants to participate in workshops. Because we have a space that we want to use up, and it'll be great to put a few workshops in there. People can do small little lectures or presentations, have stuff set up in there. So that's something we're working on too. So,
but have you talked to Shenandoah Squatch lately?
I have once. I forget he's. Oh yeah. Oh no. I think I only spoke to him about the Pennsylvania event. I need to see if he's going to be there for the Virginia event because he only lives about 30 minutes from there. So
I haven't seen him since Hawking Hills.
Yeah, because I think, like I said, I think I did talk to him about the Pennsylvania event, and I think he's going to be out on a cruise during that time, so somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so absolutely. So yeah, we have a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of planning going on. Like I said, with the events, camping, we got some investigations going on. Um, so uh, yeah, eventually I'm hoping, when things work out in your favor as well, we want to try to plan getting some people together to do some day and nighttime hiking and explorations. There's an area we want to take a group to just to sit and chill and hang out for the night.
Yeah.
Just to listen and hang out and see what we might hear or experience just by sitting still in one area. We
That
already have the
seems to
perfect.
do a lot.
Yeah, we have the perfect spot for that. So even if we get a large group, we could put one group here, put the other group over here, stay in radio communication and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Um,
We can
there's
call back and forth.
yeah, there's a few new gizmos and gadgets that will eventually be on the way that are sitting in my cart on Amazon. So
Now, I know we've been talking about that.
yeah,
I'm looking into that myself.
yeah. Did I send you the parabolic mic?
No, I was
I
just
need to send
thinking
you
about
that, but that's the one I'm looking at. It's not on Amazon. You won't find this on Amazon.
Okay.
For those who know Robert Kreider, his group is called Kreider Exploration. Well, Robert Kreider put a patent on a parabolic mic that he made himself. Now it's being sold.
All right.
They come in different patterns, different styles, but they're around $750 up. Yeah, I think they start off around 600 and go up to 750. I don't know if it's based off of whatever the details are, but he does have a website. If you can go find, he's got other merchandise and other items on there. But I am
Okay.
seriously looking at that parabolic mic. It's made for long range. It records. It's
Yeah.
excellent.
I was thinking that this whole time we were talking about stuff about parabolic.
Yeah.
We definitely need to do that because there's things that we're not hearing where that thing would pick up. That would be great.
Right. Now, like as far as the thermal imager I own right now, I've had it for a few years or so. It's the TK Scout Thermal FLIR. However, it's a great device. Yeah, it's a great device. It's good up to 100 yards of viewing. But I'm gonna tell you what, this other thermal imager that I shared with you, I am definitely getting that. Once I
like the
discovered that
iPhone
and saw the
setup.
reviews, a lot of hunters use it themselves. It's a device that you can hook up to your phone.
Yeah.
And no, it's not the FLIR One. For those who already are familiar with what the FLIR One is, I used to own one of them. Those are only good up to maybe 75 yards, and you're going to pay nearly $300 for that. But for $430, again, you got to be careful because they make it for your iPhone and they make it for your Android, just like they do with the FLIR One. But this here, it's called the T2 Pro or something like that. But you can see up to nearly almost 1,000 yards, and the clarity is amazing. You can do pictures and videos. And for $430, it was $350, but I started the price jump up almost $100 while it was sitting in my cart. So I was like, "What the heck?" But it's still worth it. I'm definitely gonna definitely jump into that. So when I get
that.
Yeah, when I get my funds and accounted for, I'm going to take advantage of that. So, yeah, but it's sitting in my cart. I'm ready to jump on it.
I know. I think we discussed this. Is Acord was using that on Expedition Bigfoot. That same setup where it was coming off of your phone and it had that thermal imaging.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay, I didn't pay attention to that, but yeah, I remember you saying that, but I never really paid attention to what he was using. But
yeah.
Yeah, like I said,
I was paying attention whenever they were using their equipment to see what they were using.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I think that would be probably one of the most inexpensive aspects for us on this part of the world.
Oh, yeah.
They got the TV stuff where it's more expensive, where we can't hit that price range.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, this thermal device, I consider it's well
for
in
the
anybody's.
iPhone, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely a good budget device considering it's got. If you ask me, I think it has high quality for the price,
It
and
looks like it.
yeah, high quality and good range of view. So it's definitely worth checking out. I could be wrong without looking at the name of it. I'm probably getting it all twisted, but it's the T2 Pro night thermal imager, whatever. So look it up on Amazon. It's definitely worth checking out. But if anyone out there decides to end up jumping on it, make sure if you're going to get it for your phone, if you have Android, make sure you get the one that says for Android, because they make one for both Android and iPhone. So,
it has to be specific to that phone.
Yeah, exactly. So there's software because iPhones and Android use different software. So, but yeah, it's definitely something I'm going to be getting. I'm excited and anxious to get it. So, yep. So yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and call it a night. Is there anything you want to throw out there before we jump off here?
No, I'll say it again.
Okay, go ahead.
Say my page's name. Believe in yourself. Hey, I don't know if you can see this or not. I posted.
Hold on, hold it up there.
I had it tattooed on my arm.
There you go. Believe in yourself. There you go.
I'll never forget because it's right there where I can look at it. That's what I want everybody else to do. Just believe in yourself and believe in the fact that we're going to have a good show in May. I hope yous all come. I'll have the opening presentation and I'll be your MC. So we'll make it a fun, good day. And Dan's got all the rest going on with the vendors, and you're just going to have to enjoy yourself because this is just too much fun. It really is.
Oh, for sure. With these events, every time we get together for these outings to go explore in the woods, regardless if we see or experience anything or not, the adventure is there regardless. So
see, that's what I like, because if you think about it, with the aspect that I'm trying to go with is just getting you out in nature is just helping you with your mindset.
Right. Absolutely.
If you really think about it, you could say, okay, well, I have a PTSD experience because I had a sighting, but guess what? You were in the woods. How's that a bad day?
Exactly. Absolutely. Get away from your daily life.
Exactly. Yeah. Daily life can get monotonous.
Right.
So, even if you had a sighting that scared you, just face your fear and just get back out there and enjoy nature.
Yep.
That's all I can ever say. It's just wonderful. I
look at it every time I'm out there, in one way or another, you learn something.
Exactly.
Yep. It's a learning experience. And you grow mentally by experiencing the little things.
You got to be one with yourself, man.
That's right. You old hippie.
I got the hair. Come on.
Yeah.
I got a lot of hair when I put the suit on.
So David put up the name of that device I was talking about because I shared it to him as well.
I can barely.
It's the X Infrared T2 Pro Thermal Night Vision Monocular.
Okay. The monocular. Okay.
Well, it's called monocular, although it's a little device that plugs into your phone.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the camera part, it's a little square camera lens box that plugs into your phone. Definitely. If you guys are interested, check it out. Definitely go to Amazon, look that up. If it's something within your budget, I think it's something you want to jump on. If you're
really out there trying to get your investigations going, I would say that's definitely something you need.
Yeah, it's great for hunting. I mean, if you guys want to observe wildlife at night in your own backyard, I mean, that would be the way to go without scaring them. Yep.
It's fun.
Absolutely.
Just enjoy nature the best way we can.
For sure. So we're going to close out this evening. One more thing. We've been talking about the May event. Don't forget about the June event happening June 14th and June 15th in Virginia. Wares Cave Community Center in Wares Cave, Virginia. Yes, it's going to be Bigfoot, paranormal, cryptids, the unknown, vendors, guest speakers, food, and more. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We encourage you to come on out. Go to the event page on Facebook. It's the annual ECBRO Virginia Bigfoot Con, and tickets are on sale for this event. Check it out. Browse through all the posts. Visit the website, vabigfootcon.com. And we hope to see you guys at these events. We encourage you to come on out. They're very educational. They're very informative. You will have a fun time. Come on out and meet Bigfoot himself and his friends. And you just never know what you're going to leave there with. They got all kinds of goodies and so much more. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Ron, I can't thank you enough for being here. And
it's always my pleasure,
guys, till
brother.
next time.